What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing? This is JHouze Radio, episode 67. Today we're going to be talking about She-Hulk. The first two episodes, we're going to be giving our thoughts about it and jumping into some of the Easter eggs that came out of the first two episodes, which were pretty freaking huge. We're also going to do something a little different today. We're going to talk about, we're going to give a review of a bad movie. We don't know what the official segment's going to be called yet. Still working on it. But
yeah, I was thinking bad movie reviews or review the damned or
review
holy
of the
crap,
damned.
review the damned. Yeah,
I like that one. And what's the other one? Holy crap! What?
holy crap! I can't believe people paid for this.
Oh, I like that better. We're gonna go with that. We're gonna go.
See,
with that.
I was actually thinking of calling it Showgirls because that's a movie I really can't believe somebody paid for. In my opinion, one of the scariest movies ever.
Oh man,
it is scary because somebody paid for it.
That is true. That is true. I think we might have to go with that idea. The holy crap! I can't believe somebody paid for this. That's what we're gonna call it from now on. And for that segment, we're going to be going over Morbius, which we both just recently watched. And we're going to give our opinions on that and talk about a few things that came out of Gamescom in Germany this week, as far as games are concerned. Basically, a lot of new trailers and gameplay reveals and things like that. So don't forget, if you guys are checking us out on the audio version side of things, leave a review. 5 stars preferably. Let us know how you like the show. Pass it on to a friend. If you guys are watching us live on YouTube, hit that like button, subscribe, pushes us up in the algorithm and all that good jazz. So,
and also, if you're happen to need of an excellent, beautiful shirt, you could wear JHouze Radio merch.
There it is. Hold up.
There you, bro. Model that. You know you sexy. Come on, show them the new definition of what a sexy shirt is. There you go.
Yes, let's go. Don't mind a little spot on it. I just had some coffee, so.
That's not a spot. That's flavor. Don't even worry about that.
That's flavor.
That's flavor.
All right, let's jump into our show notes here. We're gonna get into some interesting topics tonight. She-Hulk, which is now on Disney Plus, finally dropped. Los, what do you think? Give me your initial thoughts. We only have 2 episodes up right now.
I've only seen the first one, but I will tell you this: I do like it.
Okay.
I do like it a lot.
And honestly, I'm surprised you even said that. I didn't think you were gonna like it.
The reason why I like it is because it's playful. It's funny, and it's funny accidentally. And
yes, agreed.
And it does talk about fan theories, like the whole thing about is Steve Rogers a virgin and this, that, and the other thing, and blah blah blah. Those are all fan theories. People have actually done the whole YouTube videos about it.
Really?
So yeah, people have done whole YouTube videos about it. You know, and the one line that Hulk says, "Spandex is your friend." I was like, all right, yeah.
Yeah, it's honestly, I would have to agree. That's one reason why I'm liking it right now, because it is fun and 100% agree. It's fun by accident at some points. I will admit that the special effects for me are like for She-Hulk, it's a little weird. Is that just me?
No, she does fall into the uncanny valley. I will give you that.
Okay.
But the thing is too, when the Hulk first started, he didn't kind of look all that great either.
I don't remember how he looked in the older Hulk movies.
Yeah, think about was it Ang Lee's Incredible Hulk? The one that everyone calls him Shrek.
Yeah. Agreed.
So, like, you know, it has to go through an evolution, you know, and they only have a limited time to do that. And even if you look at the Bruce Banner Hulk, you know, Professor Hulk.
Yeah.
He does look better than her, but he doesn't look as good as he has in the movies.
Yeah. I mean, I guess now that I think about it, Hulk does have its, like, the Hulk animation in general does have its phases where it's like it looks good in these few films, and these few films it's like you know. So yeah, I guess you're right, because it is the first iteration of She-Hulk. They got to settle in a little bit and figure out where they might want to tweak here and there. I could imagine that by the time we see her in any upcoming films, she's gonna look a little different. She's gonna look a little different. So but yeah, I mean, I think overall, as an actress, Tatiana Maslany, she's actually pretty good. As her regular character, as the Hawk, it's okay at some moments. I get a little distracted by the animation. Her comedic timing is perfect.
She's
Um,
great.
yeah, and like I like the old school feel of like you remember the movies like like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, for example, where he talks into the screen and stuff like that, as like the screen is
Oh,
like an entity, you know?
it's called breaking the fourth wall, and
Yeah,
that comes from the stage when you speak to the audience directly.
yeah.
Do you know that She-Hulk was the first comic book character to break the fourth wall? She did it before Deadpool.
Really?
Yeah.
Did not
They
know
would
that.
even do things where she'd be mid stride from one comic book panel to the next, and, like down the line, explain it. And the line down the middle, right, where she's in panel 2, dressed in different clothes than she's in panel 1. So that's how they used to make her go from one spot to the next. Like even on some of the covers of She-Hulk, she's talking directly to the audience. So she
Hmm.
was the first Marvel character to break the fourth wall.
Interesting. Never knew that. Yeah, I actually really like when she does that because, like I said, it reminds me of like the old school movies from the '80s, where a lot of movies broke the fourth wall essentially. And I was just recently thinking to myself, like, oh, we haven't had a movie or TV show that really does that often anymore. And as soon as I said that, the first episode came out a few days later, and I was like, oh, there it is. I like it.
Yeah.
So I mean, overall, I think it's a good show. Like, if I had to give it, a certain amount of stars out of, I mean, let's say out of five, I guess I give it right now. First two episodes, I give it a 4 right now.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's not bad.
Between a
Um,
3.75 and a 4. It's a
yeah,
good show, it's watchable, it's likable, but at this moment we don't know if it's rewatchable.
yeah,
Like
agreed.
Miss Marvel was a very watchable show, but I don't think I'll rewatch it.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't rewatch it. Actually, you finished all that, right, Miss Marvel?
Yeah, I did. It was good. It was really good. It was entertaining.
Yeah.
And my favorite thing about it was Miss Marvel was a kid who looked like a kid. She wasn't like a 20-something-year-old pretending to play a 13 or 14-year-old.
Yeah. True
You
indeed.
know,
True indeed.
and
Yeah.
that made her performance almost cute, like little kid sister. Like you just wanted to like mess up her hair and bother her. You know what I'm trying to say? Like a little kid sister, like that. And
Yeah.
that's what I liked a lot about it. It really felt like coming from a teenager. Although the one episode where she was like, "Oh, I'm such a girl and in love," I was like, "Oh my god, this is terrible." But they quickly pushed that off to the side, and I liked it. You
Yeah,
know?
I have to agree. I think the artistic nature of Miss Marvel was great. Like when she had moments of texting on the phone, and then the text is like right above her head, like on like the refrigerator or something. Like they did a lot of those random just special effects throughout the entire movie to, show what she's thinking in her head or show what she's typing on her phone. I thought that was really creative. Um, Visually, I thought it was a pretty stunning show.
Yeah.
And its whole storyline behind family and everything was actually really cool. I mean, I felt like the show was more about a family than it was about a superhero, and
Yes.
and that was actually a nice change of pace.
Also, the three things that I loved. One, they changed her power set. So instead of her being elastic, she um, um, creates hard light constructs, which I thought was good.
Yeah,
Um, they ended the show with a shot of one of her most famous covers. And also that, just like they did with Falcon and Winter Soldier, they showed racism, like the reality of racism of what these people go through. You
yeah,
know, but they did it in a very good and balanced way. It wasn't, let me beat you over the head with it. It's just like, let me mention these realities of what these people go through. And I thought it was
exactly.
really good. And I thought that was really good. And Marvel has been excellent in addressing these issues and not making it preachy, not beating you over the head with it, not, like flying banners and saying, look at this and it's not wrong. It's just kind of like, it just shows it as a reality of the characters and moves on. You know, it's like, yeah, they deal with it, and this is how they deal with it, but they're still normal people who have a life, and that's one thing I really, really did appreciate, because
Yeah,
it never once took you out of the story. It just brought you more into the story.
agreed. Agreed. I mean, I pretty much agree with you word for word on that one. That's kind of how I saw it too. It's just like they put it out there in the forefront, but they're not drowning you with it, and that's really good because I feel like a lot of TV shows, a lot of films nowadays feels like they almost pick a topic and just drown you with it to the point where it's like, all right, I'm kind of getting tired of this show. I'm gonna move on and watch something else. You know,
Yeah.
it's just part. It's naturally part of the story.
And
Um,
the other thing they did great too was they showed that not all government agents are evil. There are some reasonable people and there are some terrible people.
yeah, I hate the whole evil government thing. It's kind of like boring sometimes.
Well,
It's
no,
like the
it's just
same
played
story
out.
all the time. Yeah,
It's
it,
just
it
played
is.
out. It's too much of it. But they did a good balance of, look, this girl's a bitch, but everyone else isn't. You know,
Exactly, exactly.
which I thought was really good.
So jumping back to She-Hulk real quick. Episode 2. I know you said you didn't catch episode 2 yet, but you said you didn't mind if we talked about it.
Nah, man, I love spoilers. Listen, as a filmmaker, I love spoilers because I know there are points in the story, and I'm more interested in how did you get to those points in a story than just going, oh man, that's what happened. No, no, no. How did it get there? Let me enjoy the movie. Now I don't have to worry about where it's going. Now I know where it's going, and I can enjoy how the story flows to that point. So for me, spoilers are awesome.
Spoilers are like I for me, I hate spoilers. I'm weird. I'm the kind of person that will like avoid Instagram for like an entire month because I don't want to see what they're gonna be talking about for the movie that I'm about to go see. I'm just
But
weird
you're
like
the
that.
average person. The average person hates spoilers.
I'm the average show.
Yeah, I'm a little Abby normal.
So on episode 2 of She-Hulk, she is sitting down looking at her computer. And on her computer, it's like on the side, almost like an ad next to like the main thing that she's looking at. And the top portion says Tony Stark threes, which is or Iron Man threes, which is kind of like Jordan's. It's kind of interesting.
Okay.
Under that, it says "Man with claws kills people in a bar" or something like that, and we all know what that is. We
Wolverine.
we all know what that is. So, and it's funny because the camera like sat on that shot for like a good 15 seconds because they knew that we were going to see those Easter eggs and then we were going to talk about it. And then under that, there also was a little paragraph that said something about statue in the middle of the ocean just appeared out of nowhere. You know what that's in reference to?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
That
Eternals,
crappy movie.
the movie you love. So now we're finally getting some reference into Eternals, and now we're starting to get even more talk about mutants. What's your thought on that?
Well, the in Miss Marvel, they mentioned that she's a mutant.
Yes.
So
Yes, they
that
did.
is the first step of, mutants exist in the MCU.
Exactly. Beaky in chat says, I really like the Hawks. The CGI only bothered me a little bit, but the show still managed to keep me entertained. Yeah, we were just saying that.
We were just talking about that.
Yeah, the CGI for She-Hulk is a little weird, but just like Lo said, it's their beginning phase. It's their first time messing around with that character, and just like with Hulk, over time, that CGI is going to get a little better. They're just trying to iron out the bugs, see what works, see what doesn't work, and over time, I guarantee her character is going to look a little better. But we,
Yeah.
we definitely both agree that it is an entertaining show so far. So far, it is. Um, but yeah, I mean, yeah, we're definitely getting into this phase of humans of mutants because this is the second show literally one after the other that is talking about mutants, but this one is obviously doing it on more like on the low basically. So I think it is 100% set that we have to be getting some form of X-Men before the next Avengers movie. What do you think?
Um, I think that they're going to either introduce them during the Avengers movie or sprinkle them throughout the other movies, and then they make their big appearance in the Avengers movie. Because
Yeah.
in Secret Wars, Magneto was there, and a couple other mutants. I think all the X-Men were there. But
Oh, really?
my thing is, yeah, I'm Secret Wars 1. I'm hoping that Oscar Isaac becomes Wolverine.
Yeah, I know we were talking about that last episode. I mean, whoever becomes next Wolverine, man, it's going to be a big shoes to fill. Hugh Jackman tore it up. Like, he will forever be known until the day he dies, even after he dies, as Wolverine. Like, that is our Wolverine. So whoever
Yeah.
gets picked as that role, I really hope, and Marvel does a great job at casting. I hope they get it right. They have to get it
My
right, man.
my other hope is I forget the name of the actor who plays Winter Soldier.
Okay. I
There
know you're
are
talking about.
rumors that they want to cast him as Luke Skywalker.
Really?
Oh, I think, bro, look at their faces. When he's clean shaved, they look pretty similar.
Luke Skywalker. I mean, yeah, I guess probably.
Bro,
That's
Mark
just
Hamill can't live forever.
nah.
He's definitely aged out of the part. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So they have to eventually replace him unless they're going to do that face swap forever.
No,
Um,
they can't do that forever.
why
Like,
not?
even because even when I saw that in Mandalorian, it was just like it was a little weird. Like, it was nice to see Luke, it really was, but it was a little weird, kind of cringy
It is
almost.
weird, but you have to understand we are within the next 100 years. They're going to be able to say, oh, okay, I want a movie and I want Marilyn Monroe and James Dean to be with Brad Pitt and um, anybody else. You know,
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, technology will get there. I mean, we're practically heading that way anyway, especially with what we saw in Mandalorian. But
listen, there are some influencers on TikTok who using free apps on the internet, okay, created a fake person, did a successful TikTok, I guess, channel. I don't know what else to call it.
mhm.
Um, and then at the end of their 50th post, they revealed that that person was 100% CGI, and that the character's a male, but a female is the one who was actually doing all the work.
And nobody knew that.
And nobody knew that the person they were looking at was 100% CGI.
Wow, interesting.
So, now the technology's kind of there,
Hmm.
and it can keep going, and you might see things that you wouldn't expect.
I mean, we're already getting like holograms of musicians who passed away performing concerts now. So I mean, anything is possible, guys. Anything is
Anything is
possible.
possible.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, it looks like we're heading into mutant territory. We're getting a lot of spoilers, a lot of Easter eggs, a lot of little mentions here and there, like, hey, you're a mutant, and hey, there's a guy with claws in a bar, and so on and so forth. I think we're going to get it at the beginning of phase uh 6, I believe. Phase 5 is where we have all the movie announcement for. Phase 6 has a lot of empty slots, except for the Avengers movies. I
I
think
think
that is the
Phase
perfect
Six
shot.
will be mutant heavy, but it will be definitely introduced in Phase 5.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would be. I mean, look where we're at now. We're already getting talks about it. So yeah, I think phase 5 we're going to get even more trinkles here and there. Maybe even like a cameo. I mean, we already had Professor X. In Multiverse of Madness. So I think we're going to get more of those happening. So yeah, it's gonna be good, man. I'm waiting for the mutants. Waiting for the mutants for sure.
Yes, and Doctor
Um,
Strange mom.
in Doctor Strange's mom. Not his actual mom, but you guys know what we're talking about. So yeah, let's jump into our next topic here. Gamescom. We got a lot of great news coming out of Gamescom, a lot of great trailers and game trailers. Lois and I are very big on Gotham Knights right now. They finally dropped some Batgirl gameplay, which is what I've been waiting for at Gamescom for Gotham Knights. What do you think of it, Lois?
I thought it looked really good, but it felt like Arkham, the Arkham series. It really did.
Which is
Um,
honestly, I felt the same way.
but it's a good thing because that I mean, so many games after Arkham were built around that dynamic gameplay.
Yeah.
And it's just so good. And as you play, it just like you get the hang of it so quickly, and it plays so naturally that it just goes and it flows. So I liked it. Her costume um, was very reminiscent of the '60s um, Batgirl,
Hmm.
and kind of in the comic books, the new version of the comic looked like a mashup between those two.
Yeah, I think out of all the costumes of everybody that's in the game, all the playable characters, I think hers looks the most unique out of everybody. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
it looks the most unique. I like the fact that, like you said, they're getting back into the old Arkham roots. We have like some detective stuff going on and things like that. I'm gonna fast forward and play around with some of this trailer here. It looks good graphically. It looks amazing as well. It looks really really good. And this is just only at 1080p right here, so I can only imagine
Oh,
what this is gonna look like on
and
the
they have the
PS5.
Easter egg of the Gray Ghost, which was awesome.
Yes, yes. I'm getting more excited about it. I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was a little skeptical because there was like the game looked good, but there wasn't enough that was stunning me to make me say, "Oh man, I can't wait to play this." But I feel like after watching some Batgirl footage, it's making me more excited because she's probably the closest thing that will probably give you the feel of Batman, basically, just like in the Arkham games.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong, we're both excited about the game, but there's a couple of slip ups in it, like Nightwing's, like I don't know, like jetpack umbrella thing, like
Yeah, that was so weird. I told Los on a previous episode, it looks like something. It looks like he's falling out of the sky in a Fortnite game. Like that's literally what it looks like,
yeah, and
and
is
it's weird.
isn't doesn't the Red Hood like walk on air or something?
Yeah, he like when he's like jumping from building to building, he's like bouncing on these like clouds almost, which is it sounds so weird to say that, but apparently he has that ability from being brought back to life from Ra's al Ghul, which gave him these weird powers to like jump on air. It just
And the
it
Lazarus
looks
pit is
Yeah, it looks weird. I mean, maybe it'll make more sense when we actually touch the game. But I mean, I'm more excited to just play Batgirl because that's the closest thing that's gonna feel like Batman to me. And I'll try out the other characters, but I feel like Batgirl's probably gonna be my choice unless Los takes him, takes her first.
no. I mean, I'm still gonna play Nightwing. Nightwing is my favorite out of all the Bat family.
Really?
Yeah, Nightwing's always been my favorite.
Oh wow, that's surprising.
But I
Yeah.
like Nightwing when he was in the New 52 the best, where he didn't have the blue, he had the red.
Hmm.
Amazing.
Let's jump into what did you call it, Los? Our bad film segment. Why did
Oh,
people pay for this or something?
yeah.
What was it called again? I
I
think
can't
this was
believe somebody paid for this.
yeah. I'm gonna have to make like an actual like soundbite for that. Like I can't believe somebody paid for this to make it and to watch it. So that's our segment that we're adding to the show. We're gonna start adding a few more segments to the show. We're experimenting, guys. And the film that we're gonna be going over and reviewing and giving our opinions on what could have made it better is Morbius. So I'll start off and say I fell asleep multiple times.
And I will second that. I fell asleep multiple times.
Oh man. All right. So what did you all right, let's start off with what we liked about it, because we're not gonna fully just jump down on this thing without saying what we
Okay.
liked. What did you
Here's the
like
thing
about
that
it?
I did like about it. It was shot really well. Okay.
Yes, yes, it was.
The cinematography was beautiful. It was framed pretty good. The special effects, um, at times were really good, and at other times looked like an After Effects tutorial. Um,
An After Effects tutorial.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Um, I kind of felt, to me, if this movie was released in like 97, 98, it would have done better than today. I feel like Sony's movie people are stuck in the 90s. Like
Yes.
they don't understand modern filmmaking. You know, as much as I love a lot of talking head movies, they don't go anywhere nowadays. You know,
Yeah.
they're stuck on YouTube. People are willing to spend 10 minutes watching talking head, but also I mean, all right, we're still staying with the good, right?
Staying with the good.
The set design was good. The set design was really good. Um, like they felt like real locations, most of them. You
Mhm. Yeah.
know? Yeah, I'm done with the good. Oh, they all spoke English very well.
They all spoke English very well. You make it
Yes.
sound like most movies can't speak English well, which they probably don't.
No, because like what I hate is in a lot of movies, they'll out of nowhere throw a ghetto person in there, or out of nowhere they'll throw like an immigrant with a heavy accent out of nowhere. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like, if it's something that's sprinkled throughout a movie, nobody cares. It's a natural part of the world. But if
Yeah.
everyone's speaking like perfect English and all of a sudden someone's like, "Oh, hello, how you do today?" You know, you like it stands out. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Or or if you're in like Arizona, all of a sudden you hear, "Hey, Essay, how you doing, Holmes?" Like you understand
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say? Or all of a sudden, someone speaking Ebonics is just, it doesn't fit. But in this one, I think they just kind of stuck to, everyone speaks proper English.
Yeah.
But okay, so that's the good. Your turn for the good, and then I can go into some of the bad things.
My turn. Or in regards to the good, I will compliment some of the cinematography. It was actually pretty good. I liked it. Some of the slow-mo matrix shots, even though some of them did come off a little weird and cringy at times, most of them were actually pretty good and cool. Like some of the slow down shots were pretty cool. I was actually surprised at that because we don't see too many people do slow-mo anymore. It's just not really a thing that people just do in movies.
Yeah, because that's a
um
Matrix thing.
yeah, exactly. That's honestly my only really favorite thing about it is just the cinematography and some of the slow-mo scenes. That's it for
Oh, and
me.
he had great contacts.
Yes, yeah, the eye thing was pretty cool. I'm not gonna
Yeah, I
lie.
think you can actually get a pair of those in Hot Topic.
Really,
Like, not all joking aside, seriously, I think they sell them at Hot Topic.
I should just do that. Put it in my eye one day and just like creep people out. People and just walk up to somebody randomly that I know, like, "Hey, how you doing? Like, what is wrong with your eye?"
Yeah.
All right, now the bad, which is probably a
Okay.
lot.
The editing was so slow paced. They could have made this film so much more efficient with the editing. Good example is in the beginning with the helicopter shots.
Hmm.
Why was there 45 helicopter shots when you only needed 8 to 10? You see what I'm trying to say? It was just
Yeah,
like, I was like, okay, helicopter. Okay, look, it's going over a jungle. Oh, look, it's going over another jungle. Oh, look, there's a waterfall. Oh, look, there's a helicopter going over the waterfall. Oh, look, there's a helicopter going through a jungle again. It was just kind of like, yeah, we get it. We know where it's at.
we know where you are. Just show me one time. That's all I need. Show me one
I mean,
time.
they could have done the helicopter going through the jungle, you know, have it go far away so you feel like, oh, it's in the middle of nowhere, and then another shot, and then boom, it lands. You know,
Yeah,
awesome. We get the point. Keep moving. You know,
yeah.
um, and then it just felt slow for no reason. And then, do you remember in Blade that one part where it turns into a soap opera for a minute before the first jump scare in
First
the
jump.
hospital?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
When Morbius was talking to that other doctor, that other female doctor, it felt like that. It felt like out of place. It felt like a soap opera ish, you know? Even the way it was shot, even the way it was framed. Like, it. I didn't feel there was a lot of great chemistry between them, you know?
Hmm.
Um, so, like, things like that I didn't enjoy. Um, the look of Morbius, he was a little too emaciated as compared to the way he looks in the comic books.
Okay.
Um, I don't know. And like Morbius is not a good guy. And in this movie they try to make him a good guy.
Yeah, they really did. They really did. I was a little confused by that. I was like, wait a second, what's happening here? I was really confused by that. It really thrown off.
Yeah.
So I would have to agree. Um, I don't know what's going on with Sony Pictures, but I feel like their video editors just don't do a good video editing job. I'm not saying that I'm the best video editor in the world, but I know when I see bad editing, and it's just not like you said, it's not well paced. That's like the first thing I immediately noticed about the movie within like the first like 10 minutes. I was like, all right, this is gonna be a movie that's gonna be edited very badly. Like I just knew, I can tell the pacing was horrible.
It felt like a first pass.
Yes, that's what it literally felt like.
It felt like a first pass. Like to me, it felt like when they originally thought of it, the helicopter shots were for credit. You know, and that's in the first pass. Like, oh, we need a sequence for credits. Oh yeah, I'll just do a bunch of helicopter shots until we can figure out what we're actually going to do.
Yeah.
You know, and then it just progressively kept getting slow
Worse.
paced. And then when
Yeah.
it came to the action scene, they did the opposite. They sped it up so much you didn't get a concept of the space of what was going on. You
We're here,
know?
bro. We're here. Like
Yeah,
literally.
and then they pulled a couple little horror movie stunts in it, where like, oh, he grabs them and pulls them up and things like that. But they didn't feel well earned because they didn't feel scary. You're just
Yeah.
like, oh, all these guys are dead. Let's see how he kills them. And that's kind of how it felt like. Even when they pulled the point of view shot, I kind of felt like they were trying to imitate Aliens. The second movie in the Alien series, it kind of felt like they did kind of that. So again, it felt like a first editing pass. Maybe they meant to do second unit on it and they never got a chance to do it. I don't know what it was, but it did not feel complete. It felt
Yeah.
like a first pass.
I agree. And I felt like the pacing was just like that the entire movie. It just felt very off. As far as Morbius design, yes, I thought it was a little weird in comparison to the comics, but this is Hollywood. Everything's got to be amped up to the next level. So I get
Well,
that.
I just
But
felt like if they put a little more fat in his face, it would have been a better design. Like, he looked so emaciated. He didn't look like a vampire. He looked more like a zombie to me.
yeah, it did. Yeah, I would have to agree on that. I would have to agree. It did seem a little like, all right, like why is he so like just sunken? Like his face just felt so sunken in, and
Yes.
in certain shots it looked even more sunken in, and it was kind of weird. It was like, all right, maybe just because of how the shadows are bouncing off of him, it was just a little weird. But I guess just like the same thing we said with She-Hulk, this was their first pass. Maybe eventually his look will evolve over time because pretty much everybody's look evolves. Everybody in like these Marvel movies. So, but yeah, it was a little weird, especially since they said that, oh, since he has this thing in him now, he's a little more bulked up. But it's like when he becomes a vampire, he skinnies down again. It's weird, you know?
Yeah. And they didn't quite explain why he was into blood so much. You know,
What do you mean,
like
like
they
why he
like
drank the blood? You mean?
yeah, why it was necessary. It was just like, oh, and now that I've got this bat DNA, I have to drink blood all the time. You know, like
Yeah,
there wasn't a medical or scientific reason. Like if he was like, oh, yeah, my body's healed, but I can't process hemoglobin. Without hemoglobin, I can't eat. I can't do this. I can't do that. But my body seems to draw nutrition from the blood. Something, 2 or 3 lines that would explain it better. You know?
I feel like after he put that serum inside him, it just kind of like the movie sped up, and there was a lot of things where I'm like, okay, why is this happening? He's doing this, okay, but why? Or he's doing that, okay, like what's going on here? But like things just felt like it was going too fast, and it wasn't allowing the viewer to like really understand what was going on. It was moving
Yeah.
faster than what the viewer was actually watching.
Yeah.
So I think for me, that's why I felt a major disconnect with the movie. Um, and just to like put it out there, guys, we're gonna have mild spoilers in here too. By the way, obviously.
Yeah, but trust me, you don't want to watch this. Spoil it away.
Yeah. The villain, which was his buddy, in the film, I forgot his name, but
Yeah, he was a Doctor Who at one point.
oh, okay, okay.
He was the Doctor.
So, in the film, his friend obviously got his serum as well, and it's pretty much like a vampire versus vampire thing. That was very boring for me. They tried to make the other guy who was the quote unquote villain have this swag and coolness to him, which, like you said, in regards to the other scene, I feel like he didn't earn that. It just felt awkward and felt weird. I was like, what am I watching? What's happening? Like that whole just dynamic between them two just wasn't believable. It was boring, you know.
Yeah.
And I didn't care about the villain. It's like, all right, his friend has a serum now, so what? Like what, just knock him out and put the cure in him and move on. They tried to make it this big dynamic thing for the story, and it wasn't believable at all. I just didn't at that point when I found out that his friend was a villain. I did not care for the movie anymore, and I started falling asleep. There were multiple points where I had to wake up and rewind the movie because I fell asleep. And
Same
like,
here, same here.
I feel
Could
bad
it,
saying that, but
but it's true. It's absolutely true. I mean, hell, Eternals was bad, but at least I was able to stay awake. You know. Here's a question for you: what town was this set in? Because I don't know what city they were in.
um, I believe they're in New York because I believe
Okay,
they mentioned a few like towns like Brooklyn and Long Island and stuff like that.
okay. So
So
let me ask you a question: why were they in the London Underground when they were fighting?
were they? I was like half asleep.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. In the train station, they were in the London Underground. Um,
Did they say
if
that
you
they were there, or did it look like
no,
that?
supposedly that's New York, but that's not New York. They even used the same set that was in James Bond.
Oh, I don't. Well, maybe they must have shot it in London and forgot to like change certain things in the background to make it look more New Yorkish. I don't know.
Yeah, like as soon as I saw the train station, I was like, "Why are they in the London Underground? Are they in London?" Like I didn't get it, you know,
Oh man.
because I remember them saying that the boat was like 15 miles off of Long Island, and I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
"So they
yeah.
brought the boat to England?" Like it. Then I was like, "But wait, but there's FBI agents. So what town, what city are we in?" You know,
Yeah.
I mean, little things like if you're from New York, you know a New York subway. You know,
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
like there are
I don't
people in Arizona going, "Oh, the subway's so clean in New York." No, it's not,
know. It's not. Trust me.
and it
It
smells like piss.
it smells horrible. I actually haven't been to the subway in New York in years, so I don't know what it smells like now. I'm pretty sure it's
It
not too
still
far
smells.
off from
It depends on the station, but most of them still smell like piss.
um so with that in mind, did you watch the end credit scenes?
Dude, I got as far as him flying. Then I was like, I'm done. I'm
Okay.
done. I've fallen asleep so many times. Maybe I just need to come back to this movie and finish watching because I couldn't sit through in one sitting.
I don't felt like anything was earned in this movie for Morbius. Nothing was earned.
Yes. Yes.
And it just felt so just generic and rushed. And it's like, hey, he's a superhero because we're telling you he's a superhero. I mean, he's going to do superhero things. All right, cool. I'm thinking I'm going to see some development. I'm thinking like take Spider-Man for example. You see him go through this process of getting the bite, learning, oh wait, I can climb walls. Wait, let me try it. Oh wait, I fell. Let me try it again. Oh, I can swing. Let me try to swing. I don't know how to shoot my webs out. Let me just keep trying. Eventually I'll get better at it. Like you see him, you see Iron Man, you
Peter
see
Parker.
Peter Parker, and you see like in like the other movies like Iron Man and you see Captain America, you see these guys earn their stripes. You see them go through these bumps and bruises moments. I don't get any of that here. And it's just, and like I said, I guess it all comes down to the editing because the pacing was so horrible. Nothing felt earned. I didn't care about anybody in this movie. Nothing like even if there was consequences to a character, it had no weight. Like I just didn't care about anybody in this movie. So, and that's why I probably just started dozing off.
And the other thing too is, um, even though it was very slow paced, I feel like something was missing. Like I
Yeah,
felt like there were scenes that were cut out, and I think they did it to shorten the film, but it it hurt the story,
yeah,
and you have to be a slave to the story because the story is what drives the movie.
exactly. And
And I just didn't feel it.
I think that's where Sony is messing up right now. Because I said almost the same identical thing for the Venom movies. Same thing. The pacing, the editing, it felt like something was cut, something's missing, something's not here. Obviously there was a few things that were cut, but then again, Marvel cuts things in their movies for trailer purposes. There were a lot of scenes that were in the trailer that should have been in a certain spot in the movie that wasn't there. But I figured, like I said, that's just what Marvel does. But then again, Marvel didn't really Marvel wasn't really heavily involved in this movie. This was mainly a Sony thing, you
Sony.
know. So, and then knowing that going into it, I was like, oh crap, this is gonna be a bad movie. So I don't know what's going on with their editors over there in Sony, but they need to really think about who they're hiring to edit these films because they are hurting the films.
It's more than the editing. It's the directors. It's the writers. Like, again, if this was 97, it would be a good movie for 97. The two things I didn't like is one, the trailer, 99% of it is from the first half of the movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
And two, I hated that they had red blood and blue blood. It kind of felt like the Matrix. Because at one
I
point
didn't
he
even
says,
think about that.
yeah, at one point he was like, when I run out of the blue, I'm gonna have to go to the red. And in my head I'm thinking, take the red pill, take the blue pill, take the red pill, take the blue pill.
Oh man.
It didn't, like, it almost felt like they were going, oh, well, let's take some of our greatest hits and throw it on there, you know?
Yeah.
Like it didn't feel, like you said, it didn't feel earned. The logic behind it didn't feel earned. And the way they just pushed this fake blood thing, like, was really strange. All of a sudden he's earning a Nobel Prize for artificial blood, you know, and it happens to be blue, and then it didn't, you know. The only scene I think that worked well was when he was taking care of that little girl.
Yeah.
I think for me that was the only scenes that felt done properly in pace, in writing, in the performance. I thought that was done really well. Okay. But the rest of the film didn't feel like it. I would rather watch him as a doctor taking care of these children as a movie than him being the vampire.
I think some of the scenes of him as a doctor did feel more natural. It felt a little bit more like, okay, I want to watch this. You know, what's going on? What is he doing? Why is he doing this? Why is he doing that? That felt okay to watch that. That wasn't bad. Yeah, I mean, I know it sounds like we're slamming on this movie, guys, but that's what this segment is about. I can't believe somebody paid for this. That's what this is about.
Yeah.
That's, you know, us getting on films about, you know, films that have these moments where they're just like, dude, like, are you even trying anymore? So,
and see, that's the sad part is I felt like Sony's obsession with the Venomverse, they call it, is an obsession that they don't know how to execute.
Yeah,
everyone's
really
looking at Marvel and wants to create a Marvel. You know, everybody. DC wants to copy Marvel to create their universe. You know, Sony wanted to copy that. Universal wanted to copy that with the Dark Universe, and it just was terrible. Because they try to rush certain things and cut corners certain places instead of understanding, one, the Marvel Universe was an accident. One.
It really was.
Two, they really plan things out, and they take things from source material and they decide from the source material what works, what doesn't work, how can we get this to go, and what is the theme of our movie as we move on.
Yeah.
Captain America Winter Soldier is about redemption for Bucky. And it follows that thread from point A to point Z, and it follows it very well.
Dude, they make Easter eggs about their own content.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it comes down to the writers as well. It comes down to the writers, and it comes down to the editing, because, man, Marvel has some amazing freaking writers, amazing directors and producers. Like, this, the whole team, they're just good. Like, I feel like everybody who's trying to do this Marvel thing, you need to look at your team. Look at your team as a whole and see how you guys synergize and try to build a good squad. You know what I'm saying? Take your time, build a squad, and just, I don't know, do something, man, because this whole Venomverse thing, oh, it's dead, bro. It's dead to me. Everything that came out in relation to Venom is just bad.
Yes.
Everything. And like, they're trying to, I know they're going to eventually try to merge the Spider-Man and Venom thing together. How are they going to do that? Who's going to direct that? Is somebody from Sony going to direct that or write that? Or is somebody from Marvel going to write and direct that? Who's going to do that project?
Yeah.
I'm actually scared of that.
She-Hulk is a perfect example of Marvel building the character. Okay. Marvel talks about how the Hulk's blood is radioactive. The Hulk is radioactive. You know, like they show him. Um, they talk about how dangerous him as a person is. You know, it's physicality, even when he's Bruce Banner. In the comic book, it was a car accident. Bruce gave his cousin the blood transfusion, and then she becomes She-Hulk. In this one, it was an accident. He was Bruce Banner, got cut, she got cut, his blood fell on her, she becomes a She-Hulk. Awesome. Then there's a whole training thing, you know, and you get to learn about the character too. So the first episode of She-Hulk was about building the character, you know, and they do the plot thread of, you're a superhero now. She's like, no, I'm not. He was like, trust me, you're a superhero now. No, I'm not. What's going to happen? We're here to take care of the little guys. Okay? You're going to be a superhero. Sure enough, at the end of the first episode, she hulks out and becomes a superhero.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why
Plot
I said
thread.
take
Build
your time,
up properly.
Yeah, take your time. And I feel like everything is a rush, you know, take your time. That's definitely should be the motto. So at the end of Morbius, we have two scenes that are in credit scenes. The first scene, we get a snippet of the sky splitting, just like in Far From Home.
Yeah, Far From Home.
Yeah, Far From Home. We get a scene. We get a scene of the sky splitting, and then we get inside of one of the police stations, and well, not police station, but like one of the lockups, and Adrian Toomes appears in one of the jail cells that's in Spider-Man's universe, or I guess in this universe where Morbius is. And
the Vulture, right?
The Vulture. Yeah. The Vulture. He just appears randomly there. He's like, "Oh, I hope the food's better here." So then now the news station is talking about, well, Adrian Toomes pops up in a random jail cell, so he's probably just going to get released because we have no record of his criminal history, basically. So now I guess that's setting up a chance for Vulture to have his comeback, basically. The second scene shows Vulture meeting with Morbius saying, "Hey, listen, I'm trying to make a change in this universe. I'm getting used to it, et cetera, et cetera." He's in his Vulture costume, by the way. He meets up with Morbius and say, "Hey, let's team up. Let's make a difference." And Morbius like, "Okay, interesting." And then it cuts. So I don't know. I'm guessing they're going to try to join forces together, and Morbius and Vulture, and have some kind of scheme against Spider-Man. I'm guessing that's going to be the future that we're going to lead into.
Yeah.
So,
by the way, the Vulture's granddaughter is mixed, and she is dating Miles Morales in the comic books.
Really?
Yeah. And she's got a set of wings and everything.
Interesting. Wow. That could be a really good storyline.
Yeah.
Do you think that this could be a Morbius 2 deal right here?
No.
You don't think so?
I'll tell you why. People were talking about how bad Morbius was, and were being sarcastic, saying Morbius, the best movie ever, and blah, blah, blah. And Sony believed it so much, they released Morbius twice. The movie not only failed once at the box office, it failed twice at the box office.
Wait, they released it twice? Yes. I didn't even know that.
Yes. So
wow.
That's why it's gonna. That's why there's not gonna be a part 2, because they don't. Not only did it fail once, it failed twice.
Wow.
It's so bad it's not on HBO Max.
That's what I even noticed. It's not. Well, I don't think it's streaming anywhere right now. It's nowhere.
It's like nowhere.
You have to rent it. I don't think it ever came anywhere. As bad as it sounds. Yeah, I mean, Vulture and Morbius teaming up together. I don't know when we're going to see that, but I doubt they're just going to let that sit. We're going to have to get that at some point.
I think what Sony's trying to do is Sony's trying to build the team for Sinister Six in their movie, and then take that Sinister Six team and throw it in the Marvel universe, and let Tom Holland fight the Sony Sinister Six.
Makes sense.
But I don't see it happening.
I don't know. This whole Spider-Man Venomverse thing is probably one of the most confusing things in the entire MCU right now because it's like we don't know where it's gonna go from here.
Yeah,
Like the Spider-Man movie Far From Home, or what was it? Far From Home or No Way Home? The last one we got.
No Way Home.
That would probably be the last good Spider-Man movie that we'll get.
I disagree.
We disagree.
I disagree.
Why?
Um, the MCU has done right by Spider-Man. Okay, and now that Spider-Man is on his own, Spider-Man is going to be Peter Parker's going to be more like the Peter Parker in the comic. No money, broke, no family support, struggling in school, trying to get his education.
Yeah.
You know, going to Empire State University. Like, I think now you're leading into that part of Spider-Man. You know, um,
I guess
and I see that happening.
I guess the reason why I say that is because I'm just a little worried about who's going to be controlling everything from here on out because of Sony trying to prep their little like thing with like the Venomverse. It's like who, like I said before, who's going to take charge of the next Spider-Man movie?
Eventually, Sony's going to have to give up Spider-Man because their Venomverse has cost them money.
Yeah.
It has cost them a lot of money. Eventually, Sony's going to turn around and tell Disney, "Hey, you want them back? $5 billion sounds good." Because they've lost money and they need to recoup that money. Ultimately, it's still a business, and
Honestly,
people need to remember that.
I feel like Sony won't give up Spider-Man rights because of the video games. Sony is recouping their money from the Spider-Man video games. That's how they're recouping all their money for the movies. They're already working on.
The deal could be, you get the character back, we keep exclusive video game rights.
Maybe
You don't think Marvel's going to be like, all right, that's good,
yeah.
because your games push our
Movies.
products.
Yeah, that is true. That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. You're right. You're right because right now they're working on Spider-Man 2, which is supposed to be coming out next year, by the way, which I can't freaking wait.
Oh, I'm going to replay Spider-Man soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait, bro. It's gonna be good. And then this one, Spider-Man 2 is supposed to be featuring Venom. So I'm wondering if that's gonna push Sony to try to get like a new Venom Spider-Man movie coming out soon or something like that. If we do, it's not gonna be anytime soon. Tom Holland said he's taking a break. So
You know what? The problem with a lot of Marvel actors is they've had to lie a lot. Look at the other two Spider-Man. What are they called? Tobey Maguire. Is it Tobey Maguire?
yeah, Tobey Maguire.
And Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
They lied on how many talk shows. No, we're not in the movie. I don't know where this rumor comes from. Blah, 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 blah.
I forgot about
Footage,
that.
green screen footage was released of Andrew Garfield at the Statue of Liberty. And he goes, no, that's from The Amazing Spider-Man. I don't know why people think that's from this movie. So I don't believe what they say because it's in Marvel's best interest not to tell Tom Holland what to do because he's a notorious leaker.
Yes, he is.
You know, I mean, he's such a jerk that, and this is the funniest story I heard. He took pictures of him, Andrew Garfield, and Tobey Maguire in their Spider-Man costumes, went over to the set of Miss Marvel and showed the main actress, look, this is what's going on in the next Spider-Man movie. And she's like, he's a jerk. I couldn't say anything. And even if I did, nobody would believe me because who am I?
Yeah.
You know, so I do think that Marvel does have a plan for him. And I think Tom Holland, who loves playing Spider-Man, won't give it up anytime soon because, especially with the audience behind him, we enjoy Tom Holland as Spider-Man. We don't like anybody else right now.
Yeah. Not right now, yeah. I don't see him giving up that role for a while. At least not until he just give it like a few more movies, a few more years. I don't really see him giving him that role anytime
And the
soon.
thing is, maybe he's saying I'm taking a break because Marvel's like, listen, we're not gonna do anything with you for 3 years, so just stay in shape.
Yeah, pretty much. And that dude is in amazing shape. Have you seen him in Uncharted?
Bro, he's a dancer. He's a gymnast. He now does martial arts. Bro, if I did all that and I had hours a day to do it, shit, I'd be one sexy motherfucker. What?
Oh man, let's walk around with some abs on, like swinging on poles.
Bro, right now, I'd be a stripper, motherfucker. Fuck that.
Oh man, I can
I'd be a
see it
stripper.
now. I can see it right now.
You keep
He's
right now. I got a keg. I ain't got a six pack. I got a keg, but that's all right.
we're gonna call you sexy Island Thunder. uh, um,
Yo, my girl's in chat and she's like, "Yeah, nope. I'll be baking more to keep you fat."
oh man, yeah, man,
Yo, my
you
girl's
can't,
my girl's a chubby chaser, bro. She tries to get me fat any opportunity she can.
you cannot turn down good cooking, man. You just can't, especially her cooking. It's amazing. You cannot turn it
Oh
down
yeah.
for sure. So before we get out of here, what's one or two things, maybe even three, that you would change about Morbius to make it better?
Um. Well, I will say that. What's the main actor's name? Crap, he
Um,
played the Joker too.
Jared Leto.
He did a good job. His performance was good. He did a real good. He did a real good job. His performance. I would edit at a faster pace. I would, if you're in New York, make it look like New York. Um, go through that story again. In that, what I saw, there is a possibility of a good story.
Okay.
You know? Maybe they should have talked more, shown more how the bad guy, would have been a bad guy if he was more physically able. Things like that. Talk about how, he looked up to gangsters or whatever. Um, uh, and I just kind of feel like they should have picked a better character than Morbius. Morbius is not even a B-lister. He's more like a C or a D-lister. He would have
Yeah.
been better served being a bad guy in a movie or something that they sprinkled in through other stories and then showed his story.
Yeah, I agree. Because when I first heard that they were doing a Morbius movie, I was like, why? I
Yeah,
mean, I guess they were trying to pick up that Iron Man formula. Well, but even Iron Man is still at a higher tier than Morbius, though. So I can't even say that. I mean, I don't know. It's definitely a weird choice for somebody to get their own movie. It's a
yeah.
little weird. Um,
The Rhino would have been more interesting.
yes, dude. I want more. I've been wanting more Rhino since we first ever had a Spider-Man movie. Like I feel like Rhino gets no love. He is a villain that should have got a movie way before Morbius, hands
For
down.
me, it's Craven the Hunter.
Oh yeah, true, true, true. Well, he's actually getting his own little story in upcoming Spider-Man 2 game, which I can't wait for. That's gonna be good.
That would be good. Craven the Hunter. I mean, Craven the Hunter beat Spider-Man at one point. He put
Yeah.
him in the ground. He buried him alive, and he
Jeez.
wore the Spider-Man costume, and he was running around New York pretending to be Spider-Man
Really?
in the comics. Yeah, before
I,
he
w-
killed himself.
I wonder how they're gonna run that story in the game next year. That's gonna be a
Yeah,
good game, bro. We
I
got
think so.
Miles Morales, Spider-Man, Craven the Hunter, and Venom in the same game. That's going to be an insane video game, bro.
Yeah.
Practically like playing a movie. I guarantee it. Um, yeah, for me, if I was to change two things in regards to Morbius, just like you said, I would change the editing for one. Change the editing, change the writing, and just work on that character design a little bit. Like I said, I mean, he did look a little like he was supposed to be healthy, but when he became a vampire, he looked sick. Which I know a vampire is
Yeah.
technically is sick, like a human version of it. But it looked weird at certain points, especially when like he was in the shadows. It just didn't look right. A lot of people have been complaining about Marvel's, even though this is technically a Sony studio. Marvel's like special effects artists have been kind of slacking as of late. A lot of people think that they're overworked. They've been working for
They
so
are.
many years.
They are.
I can
They're
imagine.
overworked and they're rushed. Oh, by the way, there is. Once we're done talking about this, I do want to talk about the one Easter egg in the second episode of She-Hulk that I told you I was going to talk about later.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's just wrap this one up then. So
Okay.
yeah, this is our segment. I can't believe someone paid for this. Let us know what you guys think. If you guys have any suggestions for any bad movies, even if it's bad movies that you think it's a bad movie but everybody else doesn't, send it to us, leave it in the comment section, and we'll consider it for a future episode of I Can't Believe Someone Paid for This. So
Yeah, not only that, if you give us enough time, we'll do more research in the background of the movie so we can kind of shine a light on the good parts of the movie and shine a light where things went wrong.
exactly.
So,
Yes, Easter egg time. What's an Easter egg that you found in episode 2 of She-Hulk?
the person who plays the She-Hulk's father, Mark Lynn Baker. Do you know where you've seen him before?
I'm gonna look it up right now. So Marklin Baker, She-Hulk's father.
Yes.
I don't see it. All right, tell me. I don't see it.
He was in the TV show Perfect Strangers. He was Balky's cousin.
Perfect Strangers? I don't remember that show.
It's a show from the 80s. Did you watch Beverly Hills Cop?
Yes.
Okay, Serge. Remember who Serge was? He worked in the art gallery, and then at the in the third movie, he sold guns. Hello, my name is Serge.
I gotta watch it again. I don't remember Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
You know what? He did look for what is his real name again?
His real name is Mark Lynn Linn Baker.
Mark Lynn Baker. I knew like when I saw him, I was like, oh, I've seen that guy in like a lot of freaking movies. I remember him from so many movies. I haven't seen him in like forever. He was in Ghost TV series, Succession, The Leftovers, The Good Wife. He was in Law and Order a few times.
Life on Mars, which was a great TV show.
Twins, Soul Man. He was in Family Matters? Oh yeah, Mr. Benner. Yes. Okay, I remember now. Perfect Strangers, the TV show. Did I ever see that? Oh, I remember that show now. Perfect Strangers. Yes.
There's where you've seen him.
Wow, I didn't even realize. I completely forgot about that. Goodness gracious, that guy's been around for a while, huh?
Yeah.
That's a nice Easter egg right there. Didn't even realize.
There you go. That's a good one.
So before we get out of here today, Los, do you have any recommendations for the beautiful people out there?
I have one. I have started a TikTok for my DJing.
Okay.
So DJ Strong Bear at TikTok on TikTok.
DJ Strongbeer at TikTok. Make sure you guys
hold on. Let me
give him a follow.
Yeah, DJ Strong Bear. One word.
Awesome.
I only have 2 mixes up. I will be posting one a day. I'm gonna see how it does for 100 days, and if after 100 days I don't feel it's got enough success, I'm just gonna kill it.
So are you going to start doing like live streams on there and like everything, or
in a month or 2? I just really want to see what genre of music gets the most hits, and then that's what I'm gonna do for the first one. And after that, I'm gonna do everything else.
Cool.
If it was up to me, it'd be all house music.
Yeah, make sure you guys check out my boy Los, man. Give him some support. Go follow him on TikTok. Tell people one more time, what was your TikTok name? One more time.
DJ Strong Bear. One word.
Awesome. My recommendation today: do not watch Morbius. It's not worth it. Just I know it's kind of weird to like say that, but there's not much that you're missing from this going into any future Marvel movie or anything like that. I know some Marvel movies try to like connect with each other. If you don't watch this movie, you will not miss anything going forward. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're gonna bring up the whole Vulture Morbius thing again sometime soon. It's not worth it. If you haven't watched it now, don't waste your time. That's my recommendation. I know that's kind of cheap to take that as a recommendation, but I'm trying to help you out.
Here's my recommendation, okay? It's so bad. You should watch the Eternals instead of that.
Oh my god. Los, like Eternals is not that bad, man. Come on.
It is that bad.
You know what? My other recommendation, watch the Eternals. Go watch it. You might actually enjoy it. It's not as bad as Los says it is. On that note, we're going to get out of here, guys. We appreciate you guys checking us out on audio form, watching us live on YouTube. Don't forget, guys, hit the like button, share it, give us a review on the audio podcast of your choice, and we will catch you guys later.